All right, today we're diving headfirst into some of the most dangerous territory in psychology. We're talking about reality distortion. These are the aggressive and sometimes super subtle tactics people use to totally dominate social environments, especially at work, and make you literally question your own sanity.
Or, get this, realizing that the person you trust the most is slowly, carefully rewriting your memories just to fit what they want. Look, the whole point of this explainer is to arm you, to give you the tools to protect yourself, because I promise, once you can see the strings, they can never be pulled again.
So first up is probably the most insidious one of them all. This tactic is specifically designed to make you question the very ground you stand on. It's a direct attack on your reality.
So how does this work? Well, the manipulator just denies facts over and over until you doubt what you saw with your own two eyes. Think about a meeting where a coworker totally agrees to a deadline. A week later, you check in and they just give you this blank stare and say, I never said that. You must be remembering it wrong. And they say it with so much confidence that for a split second, you actually think, wait, did I imagine that? That's called cognitive dissonance, and it's incredibly stressful because your brain just can't handle two opposing realities at the same time. And that is what flips reality on its head. The manipulator gets to dodge all responsibility, and you are the one left holding this bag of confusion and self-doubt. The real trick here isn't the lie itself. It's about forcing your mind to get rid of that stress by caving in and accepting their version of things. It makes you feel like you're the source of the chaos.
Okay, next up is a tactic that gets you to do exactly what a manipulator wants, but it does it by cleverly setting you up to say no first. It's all about the setup.
Right, this is a totally calculated move that uses our natural desire to be fair against us. Picture this. It's Friday afternoon and a coworker comes up to you and says, hey, can you take over my entire project? It's due Monday morning. I mean, you're obviously going to say no, right? That's a ridiculous ask. But then they immediately follow up with, okay, well, can you at least just finish these 3 slides for me? And boom, that was their real goal the entire time. See, this isn't a negotiation. It's an engineered yes. By saying no to that huge request, you feel this subconscious little nudge to meet them halfway, to accept their so-called compromise. Suddenly, that smaller request seems totally reasonable in comparison, and you're psychologically primed to say yes. They framed it like they're being flexible, when really, you just got played.
This third tactic is really sneaky. It weaponizes a third person. It brings someone else into the dynamic for one reason and one reason only, to make you feel unstable and keep you under control.
The main loop here is all about creating forced competition. Let's say your manager is constantly bringing up another colleague during your one-on-ones. Sarah she's unbelievable at data analysis. Her reports, always perfect. Now, they're not just complimenting Sarah. They are creating a triangle with you, the manager, and this perfect idealized version of your coworker at the 3 points.
The goal here isn't really to praise that other person, it's to use our natural tendency to compare ourselves to others to make you feel insecure. It makes you work harder just to get the manipulator's approval. You end up in this exhausting competition with a ghost, constantly trying to prove you're good enough, which keeps you right where they want you.
All right, now for 2 tactics that are all about the disguise. They work by hiding a manipulator's real motives behind a very carefully constructed and often very convincing mask.
So on one hand, you've got the person who is always in some kind of crisis. They know just how to trigger your desire to help, your hero complex, which makes it really, really hard to say no to them. And on the other hand, you've got the halo effect. This is that super charismatic colleague whose charm is so bright it acts like a halo, making it super easy to miss all their toxic behaviors, like stealing credit for other people's work. One uses fake weakness, the other uses fake strength. But trust me, they're both illusions.
Seriously, think about it for a second. That coworker who's always playing the victim, does their personal emergency always seem to flare up right after you've tried to set a boundary or told them no? This is one of those pattern interrupt questions you have to ask yourself, because when you start to notice the timing, you start to see the tactic.
So, we've laid out the tactics. The big question is, how do you defend yourself, especially in a professional place like a meeting, where these dynamics can just go wild? The key really is to strip out the emotion and stick to the cold, hard, objective facts.
These 4 steps, right here, are your shield. Sticking to a written agenda that stops all those emotional sidetracks. Documenting decisions in writing, that creates a paper trail that can't be gaslit later on. Asking for the data behind a claim, that forces logic instead of just feelings. And just pausing before you agree to something, even for a couple of seconds, it breaks the spell of tactics like the door in the face. It gives your brain time to think, not just react.
And this all brings us to the most important part, the payoff. Look, understanding this stuff isn't about making you paranoid. It's about giving you clarity. It's about being able to see the patterns so you can navigate them without getting hurt.
So let's run through them one last time. Gaslighting, to make you doubt your own mind. Door in the face, to engineer a yes. Triangulation, to make you feel insecure. And playing the victim or wearing a halo to hide what's really going on.
Here's the thing. Reality distortion only works in the dark. By learning to name these patterns, you're not stumbling around anymore. You just turned on the lights. Now you can see the whole architecture of the manipulation, clear as day.
So I want to leave you with this thought. If you've ever felt confused or inadequate or just plain crazy in a situation, chances are it wasn't a reflection of you. It was the result of an environment that was carefully built to make you feel that way. You weren't crazy, you were being managed. Now that you can see the strings, the choice of what to do next is all yours. In our next explainer, we're going to cover the untouchable mindset.
Subscribe.